Welcome, football fans, to another episode of From the Hip. Joining me today are Ms. Kory Thompson and Justin Rodriguez. I am your host, Anthony Rodriguez. Gentlemen, I want to get right into it right from the beginning.
Well, no,
I
no,
tried to
no,
skip
no,
over you.
no,
I,
no,
I
no,
I had to give it a try.
no,
All
no,
right,
no, no, no,
all right,
no,
all
no,
right, all
no,
right.
no.
Go ahead. I got to give you a chance. Go ahead.
So this past weekend, it was no, you're crazy. No, you don't know football. No, you're talking out of your backside. I'm at 75% on those four games that we discussed that you all were against me on, calling me insane. Yes, I was wrong about the Falcons game. That's fine. But let's go.
All right.
Chicago, Minnesota. I said Minnesota was going to win. Y'all are, oh, Justin Fields, he has the handcuffs off. He's going to be great. I told you Kirk Cousins was going to do Kirk Cousins things. Cincy versus Seattle. Oh, Burrow's hurt. He doesn't have this. Oh, Chase is gonna get locked up by Woolen, and then you have DK. Who came out on top? I told you, and I've been telling you from the start, the Bengals are a slow start team, and they won again. And then there was the students versus the Sith Lord himself. No, the Sith Lord won't let them win. He'll find a way to win. He'll find a way to beat them. Jimmy G even got hurt, and the Raiders still came out on top. So who knows football and who doesn't? And I can't wait to see Marcellus. Woo! Let's go.
Okay. You good? You got that out your system? You feel better?
Yes, yes.
All right. I would let Justin take this, but I feel good about this. I'm going to say even a broken clock is right 2 times a day. That's one. Number two, the Bears, Justin Field damn near broke his hand. Otherwise, he would have won.
Hey, Jimmy
Number
G
three.
blew out his back.
Number three. I forgot number three. Oh, number three. The Ravens still suck. What else you got?
We won two. We won two in London.
This is the same guy. This is the same guy that said Jesse Bates is the best player on
Thank
all
you,
time.
Jesse Bates.
No, I never said he was the
Shall we
best player
forget
of all
Super
time.
Jesse?
I like how it goes from I say he's the hardest soul of the defense to he's the best player ever. He's the league MVP. I like how it just keeps rising. Now we gotta say Jesse Bates is also the commissioner of the NFL and he
Why not?
owns every
Why not?
team. I know we might as well. We might as well.
We already made him into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
He's already getting sized, man, for his yellow jacket.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. So now, can we move forward into the actual program that we have set together?
Let's go. Let's go.
All right, let's go. Let's go. Real quick show today. We're just going to talk about what's happening, and we're going to get right into it. We're going to give you the chance to have your conversations, but I'll do the rundown. Okay. Baltimore, Tennessee. Okay. Came in and they beat them 24-16. Here's the thing. Baltimore's defense isn't surprising anyone. They're the second ranked defense in the NFL right now. Shutting down Tannehill, that didn't shock me. I think we all saw that coming. The thing that did shock me, if anything, was that Derrick Henry actually put some yards up. Shouldn't have. Even I told you to sit him. But you know what? Albeit that most of those yards that he put in was from the 163-yard run that he did. So he put his yards. That was in the third quarter. Take that out of it, he would have had a bad game, and I would have been right to say sit him. Now, the biggest surprise to me was why Baltimore didn't run him over even further. They have the second-ranked defense. They were playing Tennessee. They have no defense. How can they limit Lamar to 200 yards and 60 yards on rushing? Because he was the only one rushing. They have no running game. What that worries me about this team, because they should be leading this division. This is a tough division. Between all four teams, They're all separated by one game. Kory, this is your team. You're the one every week talking about them.
Let's go with this.
Are
I
you
did say there is one concern I have with them, but I will say this. I did say Derrick Henry was going to have a good game last week. Like I said, in week 2 and week 4, he had good yards. He came in again.
He didn't
had
have a good
yards.
game.
Well, if you get anywhere close to 100 yards or over 100 yards, I'm considering that a good game in the NFL. So he did what I said he was going to do. My
If you take the
concern with the
63-yard
Baltimore
rush away
Ravens-
from him, he had 37 yards.
Yeah, but he still did what he had to do. And I know Derrick Henry gives us a tough time. We really were stacking the box, playing a lot of man, and it really helped. What concerns me with Baltimore going forward, our defense is good, great. Our offense is good to a point. And to that point, what I mean is once we get into the red zone, we can't score. We don't finish. We need 6, not 3. We'll turn over the ball in the red zone sometimes. That's what Baltimore really needs to figure out. They need to get to the identity. I really think they need to look more for Mark Andrews as a big target. It seems like every time they get in the red zone, they want to run the ball, and now they're put into a passing option. A passing scenario, and they can't complete it. So that's my biggest concern. And like I said the other day with the Kansas City game, I think it was their Thursday night game, Harrison Buckner had like 13 points for them. Kicking is not going to win you games, especially when you're trying to get into the playoffs or in the playoffs. You need to score in the red zone.
I got you. What about you, Justin? Do you think that Baltimore is going to come out of this where they're in a tough place? They got the Steelers. They've got Cleveland. And who's the other team, Kory?
Bengals.
Bengals. That's right, baby. Okay, Bengals woke up. Joe Burrow. All right. So who do you think would come out of this at the end of the season, Justin?
I think the Bengals come out of this division, but going into talking with about Baltimore, the problem is definitely the offense. Defense is not an issue. They need receivers and they need a solid back. That's what they need. They need because that with no running back option, in open field, like Kory said, coming up the field, they have no real problem because you could basically have those receivers run cardio for the most part and open up that middle for Lamar to take it and run, or you can get a slip. You can slip somebody underneath and you get them yards. But once you get in that confined space in that red zone, 20 yards in, them safeties ain't dropping back that far. Linebackers ain't dropping back that far either. So their full attention's on Lamar. And them receivers over there, OBJ been non-existent all year long. That was such a big signing in the free agency. We thought he was going to do big things over there with Lamar, and he hasn't done nothing. He's made one catch, made one catch, 2 catches a game. He has not done anything. So when I look at that, Zay Flowers has been amazing as a rookie, but they already figured out that he's the number one. They figured out that Mark Andrews, he's still a big target and everything like that, but you double coverage with Mark Andrews, what do you got? You got Lamar trying to run the ball. You confine him, he can't do anything.
I saw a lot of problems with this team. I saw a lot going on. I saw Bateman, that one interception that was actually thrown by Lamar. Bateman let that ball go right over his head. Didn't even bother trying, man. Didn't even bother. And then he was shocked that it was intercepted. He luckily made that tackle, because if he doesn't make that tackle and that's returned, we're talking about a whole different game. But that's how I felt. While we're on the topic of this game, I had a whole conversation with Kory about a play, what I felt was a dirty play, and we were going back and forth about it. I wanted to discuss it with all of us looking at the replay. So I got the video here. Now, let me show you this video real quick. I'm going to bring this in here. This is the pass to Moore, the helmet to helmet by
Kyle
the
Hamilton.
Baltimore player.
Kyle Hamilton,
And he was ejected from the game.
our safety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, you and I argued about this because I felt that was as dirty as can be. You said it wasn't that dirty.
I don't think it is as dirty as you think it is. Look, okay.
Yeah.
He
Let me
didn't
bring that
really
back because
lean
you
his
can
head
see that
down.
the actual definition of this penalty is when you drop your head down. And that's exactly what he did. And that was helmet to helmet on the side of the helmet. He could have killed that boy.
Let's see here.
It's horrific to watch that, especially in slow motion. I'm going to keep bringing it back just so that there's no excuses.
I
Watch
see
him
it,
here.
but I don't think it's with malice.
Watch right
intent.
here. Watch here when he dips his head. Watch his head. No excuse for that. No excuse. To me, he should have been ejected out of the game. Thankfully, he was. He should also be fined a considerable amount of money.
He's probably going to be fine.
He should be he should be missing several games because
he's not going to get. They're not going to suspend him.
I'm not saying that's what they're going to do. I'm saying that's what should happen. He was shocked that they threw him out of the game. I don't know why.
He was, because it wasn't intentional. He wasn't really leading with his head. Leading with your head is like when you go all the way like this before you get in. He wasn't leading with his head. As the play was happening, he went down like this. Because normally when you go to tackle, you don't tackle straight up. You tackle like this. So I feel he was coming in. That's where the receiver's coming down. Because if you see where the receiver is, he's in the air. His legs are up. He's defenseless at that point, you want to say, and off balance. And I just think the timing was wrong. I don't feel.
How did you view that, Justin? I just, because we're going to differ. I understand you're a Baltimore fan. I'm not going to fault you on that. I differ. We need the tiebreaker. What about you, Justin? How did you see it?
I look at it definitely as a dirty play, only because as he's coming down, he makes the helmet to helmet contact, and it's not even the contact, because I get the idea that it may have been an accident. He didn't want to do it, but it's what he did after the plays when he got up and he began taunting. That's
you're right. I didn't even highlight that. Let me put this back up there because that is important. Watch from the beginning again, please.
Yeah, as a former player, bro, when you make helmet to helmet contact,
did you see that?
Too. He felt that.
But that's not taunting. That's saying no catch.
Yeah,
that is
no. He was like, he's finished.
No,
that's
finished. Catch. That's not he's finished. Y'all are crazy. How many people do that every game?
I'm not saying he's finished. I'm just saying is no catch. Like,
yeah, that's no catch.
He's strapped down. I know what that means, but what I'm saying is that he felt that helmet to helmet too. His head was rattled too. You know what I'm saying? So instead of turning around and making sure that you didn't kill him, you want to say it's strapped. I get it. You know what I'm saying? It's football, it's a tough game. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's all about safety, especially in the NFL. Like, this is not any other. There's no way to go around it, bro. This is about safety at the end of the day, and he should have never did that. He should have just made sure he was good before. Make sure he's good, and talk your shit as you go. But
agreed. All right.
I do think
only because of time, we got to move forward. But
let's go.
That's where we're gonna be.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to the San Francisco game.
Shocker.
This was a shocker. They lost their first game of the year. This is the team that everybody has in the NFL Super Bowl. Now, I'm not trying to take anything away from the Cleveland defense. They're a great team. They got an amazing defense. But I'm left with two questions about the game. Did they win because the 49ers had three very key players that went down? Or did they actually play well? I mean, we know that their defense played well, but did they play well as a collective team? And my second question, is the 3-2 record that they currently have, they're only a half a game out of first place, is that a false record? Where is it real? Is it something that they are a team to watch out for? Or is it just because they haven't played anybody with any significance? What about you, Justin? You start this one.
Well, I look at this game particularly. I've been arguing with this game all week since it happened, and I'm gonna tell you why. Like for example, the same question you just said. People were saying, did they win because McCaffrey, Debo, everybody went down? Well, you got to look at is Nick Chubb isn't playing. Deshaun Watson is not playing. They're playing with a backup quarterback and a backup running back, and they still put up 19.
Multiple backup running
Yeah,
backs.
so I look at it as like it was an even matchup to me, and the better team won. That's how I'm looking at it. Because yeah, you know what I'm saying, the powerhouse offense in San Fran wasn't at full health. Well, guess what? The Cleveland offense wasn't either. The better team won at the end of the day. They just played well, and that record, that 3-2 record, I think that is a false. Is real record because they're gonna have a winning record by the end of the year. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
They're not gonna lose. They're not gonna have a losing record, and I'll take that. That's a hot take for me. If you want my honest opinion,
mm.
I'm not gonna say Cleveland is better than San Fran at full strength. At full strength, both teams at full strength, San Fran blows them out the water. But both teams were missing key players, and this was an even matchup to me. And Cleveland just came out to win. And plus, honestly, Cleveland should never won this game because that kicker missed his field goal. So if he didn't miss, San Fran wins, and nobody talks about this game.
Um, I actually negate that kick because right afterwards, the very next possession, I think that Cleveland missed their kick. So that negated that miss. But anyway, what about you, Corey?
it this is one of those scenarios or situations that they shoulda, woulda, could have been this, that, and the third. When you prepare for a team, you prepare for a team. You prepare for the players who are playing in that game. So they had a whole different defensive scheme coming in to cover CMC, to cover um, Debo. You know,
Agreed.
so when they go out, your 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 team your scheme changes. You're like, oh, what? We don't have to worry about these two X factors. Oh, we gonna eat. So now you saw their defense really pour it on. You got to see the defense you've been seeing all season long. So yes, that affected San Francisco's chances of winning, losing those two key players because you also prepared with those two players, and now you're scrambling to put an offense together without them. So they beat Cincy in week one, 20 something to basically three. They injured Joe Burrow that game. Okay. Lose to Pittsburgh in a close game, the game that they lose Chubb. Win against Tennessee, who they blew out. I think it was 24-3. I mean, they won against Tennessee. I'm sorry. Lost to Baltimore. And then now they beat the 49ers. So they're just going back and forth. I mean, it's not like they haven't played anybody good because, in my opinion, they have. But
No, they have.
the Cincy game, you got injuries. Should have won the Pittsburgh game, but you lost Chubb. Tennessee, Tennessee isn't that great of a team right now. Their defense is good, but their offense
Oh,
is
I think
very
their defense is
lackluster.
awful.
No, their defense is pretty. They've been holding teams to low scores, and they've been in a lot of
Oh,
games.
there we go.
Lose to
Yep.
Baltimore because it's Baltimore. So in a game like this, losing your keeps players, losing role players hurts. Now, if you want to talk about Chubb, I think Ford has stepped in a little bit and he's kind of doing. He's at 86. He had 86 during that game. He had 106. You know, I think when Chubb went out that game, so and then I think he was injured a little bit. So Ford is trying to fill that void of Chubb. Deshaun Watson, can you really count him as Deshaun Watson? Because he's not. He hasn't looked like
He didn't even
Houston
play.
Deshaun Watson.
He
No,
didn't
but
even play.
Justin mentioned no Deshaun Watson, no starting quarterback, but he hasn't looked like Deshaun Watson from the Houston Texans that we were
Well,
so accustomed to seeing.
he's better than that rookie that they got.
Is he?
Yeah,
Yeah, when
Oh.
yeah,
when he's actually
100%.
playing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, have we really seen the old Deshaun Watson? Is what I'm asking.
But I'm not asking about MVP Deshaun Watson. I'm asking if Deshaun Watson right now better than that rookie. I'm gonna tell you yes.
Okay, and I would
I
have to
agree with
agree
you.
with you on that. But we haven't seen that Deshaun Watson in a long time. I mean, he did have 280, 89 one game, but that's all we've seen from him really all season. So I don't know. You know, I'm conflicted on this one. Like I don't know which way to go because
I
there's
think
so
we
many
all are.
variables.
I think we all are. But you know what? Let's
Mhm.
move to the next topic since we're not going to solve that right now. Next one, Detroit against Tampa Bay. Again, there was no surprise here again. Okay, we all knew that Detroit was going to win. That's exactly what they did, 20
I
to
thought
6.
they would have. I thought they would have won by a little bit more.
Well, they did win by more than 2 touchdowns, so it was significant enough. They covered the spread that they had, and they did what they needed to do. But here's the thing: it was no surprise because I believe we're looking at the best team in the NFL right now. That's right now, and barring any major injuries, I think that they will be finished with the season with the best record in the NFL. And here's why. I looked at the rest of the schedule. I counted 4 games that they might have some trouble in, which includes next week's games, Corey. I'm talking about the Ravens. It feels like we're picking on the Ravens, but we're not. But next week's
Yeah.
game, that's a game that's going to give them a test because that's a real team. That's one of the 4.
Mhm.
After the
Okay.
Ravens, they play another team. I can't remember, but then they go into the bye. They get some. They get a break, which they need.
It's the Raiders.
The Raiders, yeah, which that's
Mhm.
not even a contest for them. Then they go into
Mhm.
the bye.
Agree.
They come out of the bye. They got the Chargers. That's another tough
Correct.
team. I think the Chargers are going to give them a good challenge. Then they got the Saints later in the season. The Saints, at the beginning of the season, I would not have said that they're a real team, but guess what? They are a real team. They've proven that to me. They've shown that their defense is playing great and their offense can move the ball, and they have Kamara back.
I
So,
disagree with that game, but okay.
but if you look at the numbers, their actual defense has not let a lot of teams score.
Yeah.
It's just that it just is what it is. They've been holding
Yeah,
teams down.
I said that last week. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So they've been holding them down. So that's why I'm saying that might be a tough one because I don't think we've seen the best out of the Saints yet. And the last one is a questionable game because it all depends on which team comes out, which is the Cowboys in week 17.
Mhm.
So after that, everybody else, they're going to get mauled.
Even Minnesota?
Oh yeah, Minnesota 2 times. That's going to be a
Even
mauling.
I just,
That's going
I'm
to be a
just,
100%.
mauling. So with that being said, with this team is 5-1 now, with 4 more challenging games. Let's say they split them. Let's say they split them. Okay, that means you have 3 losses on a season. They're gonna. That's what I see. That's exactly what I see for this team. The question to it is really going to be, what do they do once they're in the playoffs? Because there's no question they're okay. They're going to win where they are. They're going to go to the playoffs. Now, can they still beat San Fran? Can they still beat the Chiefs? Can they beat these teams to actually put a ring on it?
the,
That's the question. Corey,
The
can they or
the
can they not?
the
the way they're playing right now, with the energy that they have, I see them being able to compete with Philly. They definitely can beat the Chiefs. We've already seen that. San Fran, a healthy San Fran, I think that gives them a lot of problems. Healthy San Francisco. That defense is a nightmare. That defense is just a nightmare.
Mm.
So I don't think that they can beat San Fran, but they can. They definitely can compete. They can definitely compete with that receiving core. They're so young. They're all hungry. They're all hungry, And whoever he throws the ball to, they're making the catch. They're coming down with the ball, and they're trying to get yards after the catch. It'll be
Stop there.
a fun
Stop
show.
there. Not to
Mhm.
interrupt you. Stop there.
You're good.
Great question. It just came to me. Golf. You're saying with that receiving call, he's throwing the ball, but golf. We a couple weeks ago we were talking about Josh Allen possibly being league MVP. I think that's past now. But golf. Is golf league MVP? Justin, I want to hear from you.
No.
No.
And I'm gonna tell you no, and it's not because of that. The reason why he would not be league MVP is because that run game is a significant part of that Detroit offense. And the reason why they're gonna say MVP is most valuable player. And when I say that, the reason why Mahomes wins MVP game every year, and why Aaron Rodgers won back-to-back MVP every year, is because the run game in their teams are shaky. A healthy Montgomery with that O line will run for 200 in a game. Every game. He'll score 4 touchdowns every game. They don't want him to, but he will. When I tell you that right now Montgomery's hurt, but we're talking about for the season, no. I don't see God winning MVP for that reason alone. I'm not saying he's not playing to an MVP level, but that run game is definitely a key part of why they're winning these games. That's the reason why he would not win MVP.
Mm, mm. What about you, Mr. Kory? How do you see about that?
I mean, he's had decent games. He's had some big numbers. League MVP, I agree with Justin. No, he won't get it. That team is built to run, and the pass game is just it's only successful because of the run. If golf didn't have that run game and had to throw, I don't think he would be as good as he is right now. My
Are
hat
we going to
still
get
for
an
Josh Allen.
MVP who's a quarterback this year?
Yes.
Right now, like you talking about week 6, week 7?
I'm talking about right now. If this were the end of the season, I mean, you have to use
No,
a little imagination on this. But if this were
no,
if this is the end of the season,
no,
is a
hell,
quarterback the MVP?
no.
Good. Would you say that maybe it might be Tyreek Hill? Maybe might be like CMC?
It's CMC. That's exactly who it is. He is
I
the
think
best player. He's the best player in the NFL right now.
you saw what just happened when he came out of the game. They
Yeah,
lost.
exactly. Exactly.
If that's not the definition of MVP, I don't know what it is. All
You
right.
gotta look at numbers too.
I got
Right.
you. But let's move to the next one. Another guy who they talk about the MVP honors with, but is he really? Philadelphia finally lost the game to the Jets. That's a big one. You know why? Because it's not only their first loss of the season, but it's the very first time that the Jets have ever beaten the Eagles. Yes, I'm talking about history, NFL history.
Wow.
That shows you how dominant that Philadelphia has owned the Jets throughout the entire history of their franchise. They finally won one, and they won a big one. Okay. So here's the thing. The Jets remind me, okay, because I'm not going to talk about the Eagles because the Eagles are the Eagles. They lost the game. That's it. They'll be okay. So we're not going to even go there. All right. Just like we didn't go there with San Francisco. They lost a game. They'll be fine.
But I think
Okay.
there's a difference between the Eagles and San Francisco.
I know, but the Eagles just lost a game. That's it.
Yeah, I get it.
Okay.
But
But hold on. Here's the thing. I want to talk about the Jets. I don't want to talk about the Eagles right now. They get enough conversation. Nobody talks about the Jets. They just came off of a big win. Let's talk about the Jets.
This got to be a New York thing, but go
It
ahead.
is. It is. It is. You like
100% it is. I promise to God. We let you rant about Baltimore. Let us rant about the Jets real quick.
Yes.
Go
yes.
ahead. Go ahead. Go
Okay.
ahead.
The Jets remind me of a kid that I knew when I was growing up in the Bronx. Okay. They called him Junie. He was in and out of juvie his whole childhood. He wasn't that big. He wasn't that strong. But I remember that he was the toughest kid in the neighborhood. And he put this aura of fear in everybody in the neighborhood. He wasn't that big. I would have, if I wanted to, I probably could have beat him up. But even I didn't want to play with him because it was weird. So now I say that and I look at the Jets, right? We talk about them having a good defense, right? But that defense is ranked 22. Yeah, I looked it up. Okay. And they certainly don't have a scary offense. They're ranked 29th. Yet they beat the Bills. They beat the Eagles. They scared the daylights out of the Chiefs. What are they? But they do have a very easy schedule going forward. I looked through it. I counted the games I think they could win, and I see 10 games out of the season. 10 games that they could win this season. They already got 3. I see 7 more. How? Kory, how?
How do they win?
Yeah, I mean, they don't have the stats. They shouldn't be doing what they're doing, but they're doing what they're doing.
Well, we've already talked about that defense, and I preached it that they probably have one of the best defenses out there when they play. So they're young and hungry. So that's not a question. If that defense plays, they're making the right audibles and calls, and the defensive coordinators with it, they can shut teams down. I mean, they've proven it. They can play. Offensively, that that's where the cookie crumbles for me. You can't win on inconsistency. You can't bank on that.
Mm.
If this was with Aaron Rodgers, then yeah. Like let's say Rodgers was just hurt a couple games and now he's coming back. Yeah, I could see them winning all those games.
But he is coming back.
Yeah, but we're talking playoffs if they can squeeze in, which we've talked about that and we did our little mock up. So it's a possibility, but they got to win.
It's going down.
So do you really think Zach Wilson is that guy? Are they going to win? I really think they got to get behind Brees Hall, giving him the ball more to help out, getting that push so that when Zach Wilson does open up the throw, you can get it out.
I got you. Hey, Justin, let me go with you because I know you have to leave us soon. So, what do you got on the Jets?
Well, on the Jets, I got the defense. The defense did their job this game, but like I was telling Kory earlier in the week, bad teams prepare for good teams. And when I say that with ease because if you know you have a powerhouse coming up, meaning like Philly, San Fran, the Bills, the Miami Dolphins, you're gonna prepare for them. There's a lot of film on these teams. Why? Because they score a lot. There's a lot of film on these teams. You're gonna prepare for that team. The Jets were just well prepared for Hurts this game, even though Hurts had a bad game. Still, you were really prepared for him without both starting corners. Remember, we said this was gonna be a murder on TV.
Yes, we did.
It was completely opposite of that. It's a
Absolutely.
defensive game. So I commend the Jets on that. They did their film, they did their homework, and they played well, even without their key players playing. Played a really good game. You can't deny that. The offense, on the other hand, yeah, Zach Wilson did decent, but like I said, this inconsistency from Zach Wilson will not be tolerated on my behalf. I'm trying to tell you. I think y'all got to get rid of him. It's not going to be tolerated by me. You know what I'm saying? I don't like this shit. If he actually played this every week, the Jets, I see the Jets being only with one loss, just like Philly.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But that's Zach Wilson got to come to work and he got to come to play, man. So I don't blame this defense at all for the 3-3 record.
Gotcha.
Jets, Jets.
Love it. Love it. I want to hear more of it.
Oh, baby.
All right, gentlemen, hold on. Let's get to this one because I also want to get Justin before he's got to go on us. Buffalo played the Giants, which we thought would be a game that we wouldn't even want to watch. Turns out we were wrong. Okay, because they barely beat the Giants. And if things would have went different right at the end of the game, we would have been looking at what the hell happened to Buffalo. So I'm still on the what the hell happened to Buffalo because Buffalo lost to the Jets. They lost to the Jags, almost lost to the Giants. You have Josh Allen that some people were talking about, maybe MVP, looked awful. And he looked awful against an awful team. What's going on? Are they to tighten up? Will the Jets and Dolphins pass them? Because yeah, they're close. They're at 4-2. The Jets are 3-3. If Josh Allen doesn't tighten up, the Jets will pass him. Like I said, their strength of schedule for the Jets is easy. Justin, before you go on me, what do you got?
Yeah, like I said before, the problem is not Josh Allen, it's not Buffalo. The problem is bad teams prep for good teams. This is exactly what I be saying when I said it. The Giants came to this game not wanting to get blown out, so they're gonna do their homework. Buffalo puts up 30 points a game. There's a lot of film on them, like I said with the Jets game. They did their homework. That's all they did, and they prepped for Josh Allen. They prepped for Stephon Diggs. They prepped for Cook, and they went to work. Like you said, if that last play went the way in Giants' favor, they lose. They win this game. It's all about homework, man. You gotta do your homework. Just because the record don't show record, you could be 1-5 and come out with a dub. Don't matter.
Gotcha. What about you, Kory? Briefly.
I'll say this: Bills right now need to be 3-3. That 4-2 is false. They held Darren Waller on that play. Obviously, the referees didn't call it. Standing right there. That's an atrocity to the sport. This is what I meant earlier. We need to talk more about some of these things that are going on, these bad calls and missed calls, because you're hurting other teams. Right now, the Giants need to be 2-4. That's all I'm gonna say about that. That game, they came out, they played. They played ball the way that they're supposed to play ball. They showed a glimpse of what they could be, but I can't say nothing good about Buffalo. They should have routed this team, and to win the way they won at the end, holding Darren Waller. Nah, no, no, no.
Mm. All right. All right. Monday night, Dallas went into Los Angeles. This is another good game because here's the thing. They came off of a terrible loss to San Fran, and everybody attacked them that they're fakers. They have nothing. We had Marcellus saying that CD Lamb is a number 2, not a number
Mhm.
1. Okay.
Mhm.
And Dak on my team, I benched him. It actually cost me a win in my fantasy league because Dak had a good game. He put up about 28 points in fantasy, and I lost by 3 points. If I would have played Dak like he's been playing all season, I win that game easily. Is this a redemption story for Dak? Is it real? You tell me. What do you got, Kory?
I mean, I don't. He had 272 touchdown. He got sacked 5 times. He did have a good QB rating. This game, it was going to be a close game. Both offenses can score the ball. I'm still not sold on Dak Prescott like that because we've seen this from him. He has big losses, comes back, looks great, loses again, struggle, barely makes the playoffs. This is the Dak we're gonna get. This is Dak. He's not gonna win you the ring. On top of that, we also saw, you mentioned it, CeeDee Lamb to me is a number 1.
I
And I
agree.
did say he would have a good game, and I did say Keenan Allen would have a good game too. But somebody named Mo, I hope you're watching this, gave a whole spiel on why CeeDee Lamb is not that guy. CeeDee Lamb is that guy, and I'd love to see CeeDee Lamb with a real quarterback. See what could
Mm.
happen.
What about you, Justin?
Like I said to Kory early in the week, me and Kory talked about a couple of games early in the week. CD Lamb definitely heard the podcast when Mo said, and yeah,
It
he
took
went
it
to work, man.
personal.
He took it personally. He went to work, man. So, but I think Dallas defense stepped up in a tremendous way this game to win them the game. So I see the Chargers is going to be the Chargers without Mike Williams. It's very limited on what you can do. Even though Keenan Allen is a monster in his own, and he's going to get tremendous touches. He's going to get open. He's going to get the high balls. So Austin Eckler came back this game, baby. So you got to remember that too. So with Austin Eckler coming back, the defense stepped up. You can't take away from that
Yeah.
Dallas defense.
Yeah. It's a good
Awesome.
defense.
Awesome. Yeah, I think the defense did it for them more than Dak. And I agree
Yeah,
with
I'm
you
not saying
100%, Kory,
that.
on this one.
Definitely.
I agree with you. I'm tired of Dak playing those games, going back and forth on me, and I'm over it. Okay. You're either going to be what you're going to be or not. I'm done.
Mhm.
Real quick, last game, tonight's game. Who do you got, Kory? Don't tell me why. Just tell me who you got.
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville. You have a score?
I say they put up 21-17.
What
Yeah.
about you, Justin?
I got New England. I got New Orleans. 24-21.
24-21. I'll tell you what, I got Jacksonville taking this one, but I think it's going to be real close, man. I don't think either way. I mean, this is going to be one of them games. If you, hey, you know what? I don't work tomorrow. I get to stay up and watch the game, but it's going to be a good game. Gentlemen, I want to thank you again for coming out.
Thank you. Thank
Another
you.
good episode. Let me let you get your parting shots. Go ahead, Kory.
Hey, thank everybody for checking us out. Keep coming back. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell whoever, tell everybody. Send it out there. We just try to do what we do. We talk about something we just love, a sport we love, which you all love too if you're watching this. So thank you. Thank you.
Justin?
Like, comment, subscribe, man, from the Hip Podcast. Listen, you want pro predictions, you want biased opinions, and you want honest answers, we're going to give them to you here, man. Just come see Kory Thompson, and he'll tell you everything about the role players that are going to be Hall of Fame.
And Mo, when I see you, it's on. I need you back on here to gloat.
We're going to have to start texting him now to get him on for Saturday. Anyway, thank y'all for coming out. Please join us again on Saturday for the next podcast. And like always, let's keep it football and let's keep it from the hip. Thank you all.